All right. Good morning, class. This is going to be our first lesson virtually. We're going to be starting a new unit. It's Unit 5. Unit 5 is going to be focusing on two things. Okay, and keep this in mind for the rest of this unit. It's going to be about history and Africa. So you're going to see how those two things go hand in hand for this unit. What I need you guys to do is you're going to be going to Teams. So when you're in Teams on the channel right here, you click on it. Look for Unit 5, Lesson 1. Okay, every single lesson would be titled like that, like we usually do in our class. Okay, so this is Unit 5, Lesson 1. Then the next will be Unit 5, Lesson 2, and so on. So go to Unit 5, Lesson 1. Right here, you're gonna go to Files, and I need you guys to open the file titled Launch History. Okay, so you're gonna wait for that to load. Okay, so here's your do now. Okay, what I need you to do also on a separate piece of paper. Okay, on a separate piece of paper, you're gonna write 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Don't write the questions. You're simply gonna write the answers for those questions. Here's what I need you guys to do. I want you guys to look at the questions first. Just zoom in. All right, first question. Okay, and I'm gonna emphasize on components of them. Where do you think this image was from? Okay. Now notice this is in where. Okay, it's a location, a setting. Question 2. What time period do you think these pictures are from? So that means, do you think this is in the 20s, the 30s, 40s, and so on? Okay. 3. What might be going on in these pictures? So now you're gonna be looking at the pictures, and what you want to do is try to see if you can kind of see what's going, like try to analyze the pictures to see how they all relate to each other. And then question 4 is you're gonna put everything together. Why do you think these things are happening, and what could cause these things to be this way? Okay. Now the images that it's referring to, and I'll leave them here. So this is the presentation that I was gonna present for you guys. So this is the images right here. I want you guys to look at these 5 images, and I'll take about 5 minutes to answer those questions 1 through 4. Okay. Question 5. Let's see. Question 5 is merely asking, write at least one question you have about each image, which are right there. You can use the handout from the files, or you can use the images from this PowerPoint presentation. Again, take 5 minutes. Okay. You can press pause at any moment, and we'll resume after this. Okay, so take 5 minutes. Press pause. All right, so let's look at the first question. First question is asking, where do you think these images are from? Okay, some of you probably said United States. You're already immediately figuring out what's going on already. It could be in the United States, and this is one important thing that I need you to keep in mind about this unit. A lot of things that happen in the United States parallels to what's going to happen in Africa. So this one, for question 1, this actually happened in Africa, and this is why it's titled History and Africa for Unit 5. Question 2, what time period do you think these pictures are from? And if some of you probably already kind of have an idea, historiography on photography, black and white photographs. This was in an era where around the 50s and 60s. Okay, so color photography was very rare back then. It started to emerge more like in the 60s, but in 50s as well. So the time period that we have will be in the 50s and 60s. Okay, and what's interesting is that this also happens around the same time with a certain event that's going on here. So I'm just building up towards that. Question 3, what might be going on in these pictures? So as you can see, for example, for this picture, you see people that are just burning documents. Over here, you see an individual, okay, who's being apprehended by police. And what really should activate a lot of the prior knowledge that you probably have already should be this picture right here. If you look at the picture, it says tickets whites only, and Cariati selects blankets. Okay, so right there's already a division where you have segregation going on. Okay, and you can see a particular image right here. So you have two Africans who are sitting down, and you have two white ladies who are looking away. And this is a stark comparison of how there's a division between both people. Okay, and over here you have a community of African Americans who are trying to eat. Okay, now question 4: why do you think these things are happening? Some of you probably highlighted, which is discrimination, racism. And yes, this is one of the biggest highlights we'll be looking at, what happened in Africa, and how does it compare and contrast to what happened in the United States? We'll be looking at the approaches of Martin Luther King and an individual you probably have, some of you probably heard, some of this might be new to you, okay? And his name is Nelson Mandela, okay? If you have a question, okay, I know this is right, at least one question you have about each image, I want you to go click over here, which is start conversation. You click on that, and right here, you'll type your questions. But very important, I need you to write, you're gonna type your name. So for example, for myself, I'll put Castro. So that way you identify who you are, so I know who I'm speaking to. Castro, and I say for image 1. Okay. Image 1 is this one right here. This is image 1, image 2, image 3, 4, and then 5. Okay. And again, you can refer back to this if you want to press pause. Where did the picture go? If you want to press pause, you may right now. Okay. So you're gonna refer back to that. And over here, so for example, the first one, image 1, okay, your question could be, what documents, okay, are they burning? And just press enter, okay, and I just sent the question inside there. Okay, so now during my office hours or throughout the day, I'll be referring back to this, and I'll be seeing your questions. And I'll be responding to those questions, and I'll type your name, and I'll give you responses to that, okay? All right, so this will be our introduction for our first lesson.